Over the past few years, Amazon PPC costs have skyrocketed as Amazon has flooded the search results with sponsored positions. So for example, in this niche, we've got sponsored brand products at the top, then we've got sponsored listings, 4 of them there, a few organic listings, then the next row of sponsored listings and a sponsored video. So Amazon has become pay to play. And if we fire up X-ray from Helium 10, we can see SB means sponsored brand and SP means sponsored product. Most of the search results, especially towards the top of a page, are sponsored positions, which means a lot of sellers are struggling to make money on Amazon because they're having to spend so much on PPC. So what I've been doing over the past few months, I've been experimenting with an alternative strategy which has allowed me to sell through an entire batch of inventory, which was 500 units for that particular order, without running any PPC. And I'm going to be sharing that strategy with you in this video. The good news is the strategy is ridiculously simple, but I have to explain how I arrived at that strategy in the first place. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense. Also, it's important to note that not all strategies work for all products and all niches. So keep that in mind if you're considering adopting this strategy for one of your own products. So I just want to rewind back to last September time. So last September, my wife launched her first product on Amazon. So I was helping her with her launch, and we spent quite a bit on PPC to get that product ranked, to get the sales velocity needed, to get ranked in the organic positions, because that's where you make money on Amazon. If I go back to the search results again, yeah, it's great being in these positions, but because you're spending so much on PPC, you're not really making a huge amount from those sales, and sometimes you may be even making a loss. But if you're in these organic positions, then each one of those sales, you're making the full profit on those sales. So we use sponsored sales to get you up in the organic results so you can make, I guess, technically free sales, although you've invested in PPC to get there. So we carried out the launch, and it was a strange launch because we were spending quite a lot on PPC and we were outselling the competition considerably, like probably 2 or 3 to 1 in some instances. And there were still some listings that we weren't overtaking. And I've always spoke about over the past few years, and many influencers would have told you that sales velocity on Amazon is the most important thing. Whereas I no longer think that is the case. Sales velocity is important, but now I see sales velocity as it's like sending up a flare and saying to Amazon, look at me. So without sales velocity, Amazon are never going to notice you. So we do still need sales to do that. But in my mind, I was trying to figure out why I'm outselling these products 2 or 3 to 1. Why are they still above me in the organic search results? It's not their sales history or anything like that. So I arrived at the conclusion that Amazon also take into account very heavily your click-through rate and your conversion rate. So just because I was outselling those other products, if they had a better click-through rate and conversion rate, to Amazon, that suggests that product is a better fit. So that's why they were prioritizing them in the search results rather than me. And there are many things you can do to work on your click-through rate and conversion rate, but the most powerful one is always your price. So let me talk you through my thought process. So if I bring up this is the keyword tracker from Helium 10, and this is the #1 keyword that we were targeting for this product. And this gap here, this is basically the period where the first batch of inventory from when we started in September. So whenever you order inventory for Amazon, I normally recommend ordering about 3 months worth of stock. So we launched in September, about September, I think maybe it was the end of August. And then we were out of stock by early December. We went out of stock and then we came back into stock with this second batch. And we didn't run any PPC on this second batch. If I just hide the webcam very quickly, you can see ranks stayed very, very consistent. So what is the secret sauce? So I arrived at the conclusion that rather than spending X amount on PPC per day, so instead of selling at a higher price and running PPC, I arrived at the conclusion if I sold at a lower price, my click-through rate and conversion rate is going to be better. And if they are better, then even if my sales velocity is lower, I would hopefully in Amazon's eyes be seen as a better product, a better fit for those customers, and start to go up in the ranks. And you can very clearly see this is what happened when we come back into stock here with this new strategy. So what I didn't just apply a price cut, because that didn't do what I wanted to do. The first thing we have to do is catch the eye. And if we go back to the search results again, If you look at these 5 products here, they all look very similar, but what is the one that draws the eye? Now, to me, it's this one here. You see with the green thing here, save 10% with voucher. That is adding an element of catching the eye, which is going to improve the click-through rate. And also because it's seen as to be on offer, it's also improving the conversion rate. Now, the good thing is with these vouchers, if I just click through to this listing, you can see that the customer actually has to tick that box to get the voucher. Now, in the US, it's called coupons. In the UK, it's called voucher. So this is why it's superior to just a price cut, because a price cut, everyone benefits from. The redemption rate for these vouchers, people remembering to click this box, is around about 50%. So technically, it's half of a price reduction. And in addition, in the search results, you get that green box as well. So you get the improved attention and click-through rate, you get the improved conversion rate, and it costs you 50% less than just reducing the price. So what I did is I put one of these vouchers on, and I took into account how much I was spending on PPC. So say, for example, you're spending £30 a day and you're generating 10 sales from that. Roughly, you're spending £3 on average per sale. So instead, I just put that discount straight onto the listing. But because only half of the customers are redeeming it, I was only spending about £1.50 per sale instead of £3 per sale. So I was spending a lot less to maintain the ranks. And if we go back to here, you can very clearly see we have maintained the ranks. Now, I just want to quickly point out there is a bit of a dip here over these few days, and that was purely because I forgot that the voucher had expired and I had to renew the voucher. So like I say, I'm not saying this is going to work for all products, but for me, for this product, it has been more cost effective and worked just as well, if not better, than PPC. And I think it reinforces my new belief that yes, sales velocity is important, but click-through rate and conversion rate are just as important, if not more important. So keep all of this in mind when you're considering your own launch strategy. I'm not saying to you go and turn off your PPC and just put a voucher on. Maybe trial it first. Maybe put on a voucher whilst reducing your PPC and just see what happens. But look at the data over time. 1 or 2 days worth of data isn't enough. Any decision on Amazon should be based on weeks of data, 1 week minimum, even a price change, because there's always this lag effect to your ranks whenever you make a change. You don't want to be making decisions based on 1 day of sales or 1 day of ranks. And if you look at this, the difference between this section here where there's lots of dots, in Helium 10, there's a little rocket you can click next to the keyword that you're tracking. So this will track it multiple times per day, which is very important during the launch period. But after that, it just tracks it once per day. So that's why if you're wondering why there's so many dots and fewer dots here, that is the difference. So that's the strategy I wanted to share with you in this video. If you are using vouchers, be aware that there are fees. It's not just a discount for the customer. You do have to pay Amazon for the privilege as well. And these fees are changing. So up until the 1st of June, you pay 45p per redemption, basically per sale with the voucher. So take that into account when you're doing your calculations. And then from the 2nd of June, instead, there's going to be an upfront fee of £2. That's to set up the voucher. And then you're going to be paying 1.5% of the sales on redeemed vouchers, which for most low-cost products, probably below £30, well, at £30, 1.5% will be 45p, which is exactly what they used to charge you. So 1.5%, if it's below £30, you're probably actually going to save a little bit under the new voucher system than you would have done under the old voucher system. But if you're selling high value products, then the voucher fees are going to be higher than what they were in the past. Now, in the pinned top comment, there will be the usual link to the latest Helium 10 discount, as well as a link to the FBA Elite course. So make sure you check those out. But if you want my latest tips, tricks, and warnings for new sellers, I'm going to pop up a video now. Make sure you guys give that a watch, and I'll see you over there.